right, it's been a while, guys. So what have we been up to since, Canadian Super Dirt Week back in October?
Working
and working.
Working 6 and 7 days a week at work, building houses.
Yeah.
We stood up a 3,200 square foot ranch. Just framed it. In the meantime, we had another job going on that was a start to finish renovation, which came out really cool. And then we started building a new house all at the same time. So working 7 days a week, 7 days a week was needed to try and stay on track. But we're back squared away now. So got to take care of the important stuff first before we can spend the money.
Yeah.
In time.
As we've mentioned, the sport's not cheap, but we have a lot of fun doing it. So we like to play hard, so we have to work hard.
Yep. Yeah, we went to Canada and raced and had fun, and the offset was, okay, we need to go back to work and work exceptionally hard to get back to where we need to be so we can race again this summer. So we're pretty well there, back to going along. The guys at work have been great because we got 2 other guys that work with us. So they've been awesome. Couldn't think anybody else better to work with. So that's been going good.
Yeah, definitely.
So
we've added employees to the business,
so
that's growing, and the race stuff's looking good.
Yeah, business is growing. We're getting closer and closer to race season. They're finally posting some schedules now. I feel like it's been forever. Some places still haven't posted schedules, which is kind of frustrating because for somebody like us, where we don't run at, say, Albany-Saratoga weekly, you kind of sit in limbo for a while going, okay, well, what tracks are going to run what with the 358 stuff? So finally, last night, Albany posted their schedule, and then Devil's Bowl released the 5 dates that they're going to run 358. So we'll be at those 2 places. But still waiting for, like Fonda said, they're going to run some in some other places. We'd like to go back to Cornwall. They don't.
Yeah, we had fun there.
Haven't had anything posted there or Mohawk. So still kind of waiting, but it stinks because you're like, okay, we like to plan it out. So yeah, but we're gaining. We're getting closer and closer to race season.
We are. Now, I guess one thing to kind of recap the season. What was a highlight from this past season, the 2024 race season?
Well, getting 2 motors to run was a good start, So yeah, we obviously the beginning of the season for me really sucked. Essentially, kind of got hosed on a 358. There's a lot of things wrong with it that shouldn't have been wrong with it, so that was extremely frustrating and cost a whole lot of money that you don't get back.
We'll have to do a video, maybe like 5 things to look for when picking an engine builder or something like that.
Yeah, we do things, because we all work hard to do this, and it was an unfortunate deal. But there was a lot of things that could have been done better to make it so it was successful. Instead, it was an epic fail. So, getting that started was good. When I got the motor, the other one from Precision, thing ran like a top. Dad's ran great all year. So, we started off kind of rocky. I blew a motor up, and then he blew a motor up.
He blew up a crate motor.
The crate motor was like, oh, well, okay, it's a piece of junk anyways. It's still sitting over in the corner, actually. So we kind of started off slow, but had success with the sportsman stuff. I mean, I finished second, and then we broke a drive shaft and all that. And then we just said, you know what, we're done with the crate stuff. We can't do the crate and the 358 stuff. It's just too much. So we both wanted to focus on the small blocks, the 358s. So once we did that, things turned around a whole lot. He almost won at Albany, still controversial. Should have been a win. Ronnie Johnson refused tech, but they let it go. What are you going to do? So we were as close as we could get there. And then I would say probably me finishing second. So we had 2 top 3 runs, almost wins, in our first season with 358s, and had a lot of top 10s, a couple top 5s. So I would say for our first season doing it and learning, we learned a lot. We had a whole lot of fun, and ran pretty darn good for all things considered.
I mean, those guys you guys raced against at Albany, even Devil's Bowl, some of the guys that showed up there have been doing it a long time and
have
good
field.
backing.
I mean, you look at a lot of them, they have a payroll. So they're getting paid to race. We're getting a paycheck, and they have guys on the payroll to take care of the cars. So to mix it up with guys that don't have to work on their race cars or have a crew that's paid to work on them, and then you see us out here having to work the 6 and 7 days a week to pull it off and then come out here and do that. That's pretty impressive when you step back and look at it. I don't think we step back and look at it a whole lot because it's like it doesn't matter. It's just another race car to race against. So yeah, but no, that stuff was good. You know, we learned a whole lot, and I think had probably more fun than we'd had once everything was all settled in and the cars ran like they're supposed to, and we took care of the things that we can take care of. Obviously, we had no mechanical failures the rest of the year, so that told me that our maintenance program was just fine, keeping things straight that way. You know, nothing broke, taking care of everything the best we could. And it was a lot of clean races. You know, there was not a whole lot of running over each other because these things are brutally expensive now. So that was all good. But yeah, I mean, we had fun. I don't know if you got anything else to add.
No, you pretty well covered it.
You know,
I would agree. I mean, once it settles in, we learned a lot of myths. There's a lot of myths about what you can and can't do. So you know, if you're thinking about moving up and be realistic with your program, I would say probably the engine cost obviously is a bit more, not as drastic as people would say. I mean, you know, they always go for the juggler with everything nowadays. So yeah. If there's a big high, you can spend as much as you want or probably as little as you want, and still do, you know, okay if you want to build a program, as far as that goes. But I mean, as far as cost, it was, which we knew before, you know, the fuel, the tires, a little more travel, and we were prepared for that. But you know, I've heard of guys that are, a few more guys that are going to do it. I think they'll have fun with it, and you know, again, if they're realistic with everything, and they'll be fine, and it helps it. It seems to be coming back. So, but yeah, overall, season wise, I didn't really have you know, if we could go out and run laps and be competitive was kind of the goal that I had in mind. Was like
every top 10 for us starting was a win.
You know, can you be competitive and prove that you belong there? And we surpassed that, and still got work to go. As you know, if you've been following the channel, we're not very, you know, easily pleased as far as that goes. So if you're not at the front, and even if at the front, you want to be further out front. So you know, I think there's a lot of motivation this season, after last season, to take it to the next level. Yeah. And so we've been working at that, even though we you know, just a lot of things that we've changed around. You know, the engine stuff program again is squared away. Those are all done, and it'll be picked up pretty soon, and
on time.
On time, and everything looked good as far as maintenance in those. So that was good, and then we sold 2 of the cars off.
Yeah.
The crate car.
We sold my program
actually
off.
3. Yeah, actually 3 of the cars, because we sold the original car that he drove for Stuart Bean, the crate car. That one's gone.
The white 77's gone.
Yeah.
The black 77's gone.
Yeah.
The old 98's gone.
And so to replace those with 2 new chassis, we didn't sell them as rollers. Some guys will sell things off as rolling, you know, everything. We didn't do that. We maintain our stuff really good, and we really can't afford to do that. Some teams just go, I'll just buy all brand new again, and you know, that's okay because they can afford to do it. No knock on them, but we can't afford to do that. So we again, like you've seen on the channel, we'll tear it apart, go through it, maintenance it, and put it back together. And so yeah, we've got one over here, 2025, that's going together.
Yep.
And then we got, which this is Walt's personal car, his own car, and then he's got a new 2025 chassis that we'll put together that the 77 or SK Bean owns, that he's been driving for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years,
or
whatever.
3-4 years now. So yeah, we got to go pick that one up here either this coming week or the following week. And make our swing. I laughed every time I've been out to New York once. I feel like I make a New York swing in a weekend.
Yeah.
We went to a wedding.
We went to a wedding, picked up this car, picked up some other parts, dropped some shocks off, saw some friends back home, and we're going to do the same thing this weekend. We're going to Neil Stratton's racing party. We'll go pick up another race car, pick up some shocks, pick up a body. You know, we just kind of a reoccurring thing. We make that. I feel like we have to prepare. We make a pre-trip to Albany about 3 times.
Yeah, we spend a fair amount of time actually traveling out, even in the off season. Shipping is, everybody knows shipping's crazy. So to have stuff, even bigger pieces shipped. So we try to make one big, and even if other guys need things in the race world, it's pretty good because most guys are, that are in the racing circle will say, hey, I'm headed over to such and such. Do you guys need anything? So we certainly will pick up parts and pieces and whatever any other guys need and bring them back. We all kind of help each other out that way. So yeah, this weekend we got a whole new body and inner tin work and basically all the body panels, everything from my car, brand new, and I don't know, another chassis. And I started building a list already today of parts and pieces that'll come in. So the UPS man, FedEx, and our own, who stays pretty busy delivering here at this time of the year.
He delivered 6 boxes last week, and there were like big boxes, so we had to bring each one individually up the stairs.
We got a
They're
new
good guys.
UPS guy. The other guy was really good and knew if the shop door was unlocked to just slide it in the shop.
Yeah.
And now he's, I think, moved on to work and doing UPS freight, so we got a new guy. So he's probably going to hate us when we're done. The other guy we got to know pretty well.
He'll figure it out. So, but yeah, so we got one of the big things we did was we upgraded, and we always try to upgrade things. Whether it be the chassis nowadays is kind of a standard thing to upgrade. More than likely that'll be the last on my car. This will be the last round on this one, and that one will go. Will get sold at the end of the season, and we'll just update, not because it's bad or broken, but it's just time for us, the way we like to do it, to cycle it out. And we usually, if they're junk, we just junk them. We don't sell them. We just cut them up,
cut it up with a
garbage.
Sawzall and number one steel.
When we sell stuff, it's good, and if we have pieces that are not good, we just throw them away. We don't try to sell them out at Lebanon Valley on the table. But we went to Butler, had custom seats done. Neither one of us had actual custom seats, and we got talking about it and said, I think that would be cool. So back in November or something.
Yeah, mid-November.
We were at the Syracuse, the trade show or whatever, and got fitted from the guys at Butler and had 2 nice new seats done that they really fit well, and so that was a nice new addition. So we've done some safety things like that stuff.
Well, the stuff is now like obviously we're both done growing.
Yeah,
height-wise,
other than out.
height and width-wise. So doing things like that.
And you guys take safety very seriously, and like if you're going to spend the money on the race car, you need to spend the money on the safety gear
that's
too.
the thing. I was explaining to somebody the other day. They're like, what did that cost? And I'm like, it's a pretty substantial investment to have a custom seat done. Now, don't think for a second that you have to have a custom seat. You do not. The good thing is to have a good seat. The seat that I've been running was one of the highest grade, I think, Kirkies that they make that's not custom. When we went back dirt racing, I had always used Butler seats in my super late models and stuff, but at the time Butler wasn't really building Northeaster modified seats. They were doing the super late model dirt car stuff, but they weren't doing the Northeast modified stuff. They since have done a great job coming up with seats that
they kind of took a sprint car seat and a late model seat
and combined
put them together, and now we have a really good seat.
And so anyway, I was happy to jump back in, and it was funny because just the minute I even sat in the seat at the show just to try it out, it was like you could just tell. It was just a feel, and there are great seat makers out there. I'm not knocking any of the seat guys. I just prefer Butler, and I'm happy to be back in one right now. So
let's face it, for him it was an impulse buy.
Yeah,
I had talked about getting one because at Cornwall I ended up a quarter mile, and my neck was about broken, and then I got a cramp in my leg while I was trying to hold my head up, and I had a whole catastrophe going on there. I drove one-handed with the hand up here trying to hold your head straight, then you got a Charlie horse down here, and so you're losing time. If you're thinking about your head hurt, you're not hitting your marks on your lap. So I had told him, I'm like, I think I'm going to get a custom seat, and I was kind of bouncing back and forth between LaJoy and Butler built, and I'm like, when I had a Butler built, I really liked it. So when I went to that show, I was like, I was planning on getting a seat, and he was planning on getting a new fire suit.
Right.
And I got measured for a seat, and then he walked over and goes, "Yeah, I'll take one too." And I was like, "Oh, I guess we're both getting seats."
Well, like I said, after I went and sat in one, I was like, "Wow, that's really the way it should be," and so money well spent. And
yeah, they're right here too.
So yeah,
and he did end up getting a new seat or a new.
I needed another fire suit, so I did have to update that as well.
Yep. Now both of the guys have Swagger Factory suits. And we're happy, so happy with how they came out and how they fit.
Yeah,
how
straight.
Walt's held up was incredible compared to his previous.
The first time we went to the PRI show there, and we spent a lot of money on K1 suits, which are supposed to be the high end. And mine fit like crap the first time. I ended up ripping the crotch out of it. And I sent
before
it
he even got in the car, like he put his foot up and it was done.
So then we sent it out and had it fixed, and it still fell apart. You know, and that was a, I don't know, what, $1,400 suit?
Yeah.
So, I mean, not happy with them. So I got a Swagger Factory, really liked it. And Heather does a good job taking care of them because we don't take care of them. She washes them and buys the expensive soap and all that stuff. So, but yeah, no, Todd Morey does a good job. You know, Dad's fit perfect, and he was really happy with it. So, yeah. So this is the new seats. This is mine. So they're not cheap, obviously, but. So that's one exciting thing, you know, but other than that, it's been work hard and bought some cool little stuff.
Yeah.
That's about it. Dad bought a new steering box, too.
He has to buy a new steering wheel, I heard, also.
Walt says it's bent. Walt says my steering wheel's bent. I don't know, maybe. I like it. It works for me. But, yeah, we upgraded. That was one of the things that we bought, was just an upgraded steering box. The steering ratio in the cars, you can change it. So some boxes are like a 14 to 1 or a 12 to 1, and essentially what they're talking about is the little rod on the end of the steering box is you make one revolution, that's what it's going to turn. These cars, he had a 9 to 1 in, and I still had, this had a 12 to 1 in it, which was fine all season except for on the shorter track. I felt like it was a little bit, there was times that it was a little bit behind with the wheel, could have been a little bit better with a 9 to 1. So I decided I would make that change. Again, not the begin all end all, you know, starting out. It's an expensive piece, but again, it's one of those things you just add to your program. Some guys go out and, you know, they can afford to buy all of it, and that's fine. But we just kind of work our way to it, and so if you're not afraid of hard work, you can do it. So that was the other thing. But other than that, just kind of going through cars, assembling, inspecting, and getting ready to go at it again. It's coming fast. We got a bunch of snow here, yeah. So it.
I don't think the snow will be gone from here by April.
It probably won't. I'm sure that we'll race somewhere before the snow's gone here. But that's the only good thing about most of the places that we do go to race.
They're west, southwest.
So it works out pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for watching. You know, glad to do an update and be back doing some videos, and we'll have one here coming up shortly about you know, things to look over. Obviously, we got a good example of new frame. A lot of the parts have been gone through on this, and Dad's going through his. So we're going to do a video on things to look at. You know, especially in the off season. You know, you raced all year, and what are the key components to look at? And some of them are obviously simple, you know, your binds, rust, stuff like that. But there's some other things too that can really really mess up the handling of a race car that are a simple fix with a little bit of grease and some cleaning. So yeah, that one will be up right after this one. So thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.